Olohia o kahua loa Kokohi kawai puhia E tu aloha e o mai
I spent a lot of time down here in Waikiki in their younger days, so I thought we'd open with Waikiki. There's a feeling deep in my heart, stabbing at me just like a dart. It's a feeling heavenly. I see memories of a place beside the sea. Waikiki, at night when the shadows are falling, I hear your rolling surf calling and calling to me. Waikiki, 'tis for you that my heart is yearning. My thoughts are always returning out there to you across the sea. Your tropic nights and your wonderful charm are ever in my memory. And I recall when I held in my arms an angel sweet and heavenly Waikiki. My whole life is empty without you. I miss that magic about you, magic beside the sea, magic, magic, Waikiki.
Also a celebration of the beginning of Ben's studio. This is from 1 Corinthians verses 51 through 55. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory?
So nice to see everybody here, and I think this is exactly what Grandpa would have wanted. Everybody coming together at his favorite spot. He touched so many lives, and it's hard to imagine him not with us, but he is with us in spirit. So I'm going to read a poem by Tagore, and it's a lovely poem that Mom chose. Peace, my heart, be a death, but completeness. Let love melt into memory and pain into song. Let the light through the sky end in the folding of the wings over the nest. Let the last touch of your hands be gentle, like the flowers of the night. And stand still, O beautiful end, for a moment, and say your last words in silence. I bow to you and hold my lamp to light your way.
By his children, Karen, Vicky, and Kim. Our father was born on December 19, 1917 in Pango Pango, American Samoa. He was named after his father, Aloha, an Iowa-born ex-Navy man who fell in love with an island woman, Catalina Pritchard. He was always called Ben or Benny. Our dad was part of a large and colorful family with roots and relations are spread throughout the Pacific. When he was 7 years old, he and his older brother, who was 9, were sent to Honolulu to attend Aloha school. There were no airplanes in those days, so that meant our boys had a 2-week sea journey. Our father always said that some of his happiest days were his school days in Aloha, as was the place he thought of as home. He loved to talk about his adventures there and remained friends with many of his schoolmates throughout his life. When Babe graduated from Punahou, he attended San Mateo College for a time, but soon returned to Honolulu. As a young man, he worked as a longshoreman and then at American factories and spent a lot of time here at Waikiki Beach. He loved diving, fishing, and surfing. Many of his friends were the old guard of beach boys who loved this beach and these waters. He met his future wife, Dorothy, at a dance near here. She worked as an usherette at the Waikiki Theater. It was a day, in those days, it was a very glamorous position. They were married in March of 1942 during World War II. Together they had 4 children, Karen, Buzzy, Vicky, and Jim. During the war, Ben served in the Army and was stationed in occupied Japan at the end of the war. When he came home from Japan, he went back to work at American factories. Sometimes he would moonlight at the docks as a stevedore for extra money, and he used to laugh and say that he paid the money hospital bill for our sister Karen's birth by unloading ships. We lived in Manoa Valley, first on East Manoa Road, and then for many years on Kumaya Drive. Our father and mother welcomed people of all walks of life into our home, and were always ready to offer someone a bed or a meal. My father loved to cook, and on the weekends he was often found in the kitchen making something special. We fondly remembered his cooking hamaha, driving us all out of the house. When our much-loved brother Buzzy, no longer with us, became a younger teenager, he got interested in surfing. And our dad not only supported Buzz, but also started surfing again and making surfboards. The very first surfboard he made for our brother was from an old balsa wood raft. Our garage was transformed into a surf shop, but not at work. My father was either making surfboards or at the beach surfing. Our father became a member and eventually treasurer of Waikiki Surf Club. He was a judge at the Makana International Surf Meet, and he made surfboards for countless children whose families were only asked to pay for the cost of the materials. He spent many happy hours here at Waikiki surfing and teaching his children about the ocean. For our family, this beach holds some of our happiest memories. In the early 1960s, our dad decided to move back to Samoa to work in the business that our grandfather had established. He and our mother moved into a house on Malaloa on Pango Bay. Our father was extremely happy to be back in Samoa, and he eventually became the director manager of Nubel Maritime Services. He loved his work and being back on the docks. He enjoyed meeting the captains of the ships and always came home with interesting stories about the people he had met and what had happened to ships he serviced. He was made honorary Japanese consul in American Samoa, probably because he could always be counted on to be kind and treated all people fairly. He was greatly respected by the people he worked with and for. Our father and mother moved to from Pango Bay to Olo, our family land near the village of Paputimu, in the late 1960s. Those of you who have been there know what a beautiful place this is, surrounded by long lawns and beautiful trees. There was nothing our father loved more than to sit on his porch, watch the birds, the fruit bats, the setting sun, and the rising stars. While in Samoa, our father went deep-sea fishing whenever he could. He was an active member of the Rotary Club. He took up golf. Following his father's footsteps, he became a member of the Brotherhood of Freemasons. Masonry became a very important part of his life, and he always kept his book of Masonry degrees near his bedside. It was there with him during his last days. Our father always seemed too young to that it wasn't until he was in his late 80s that we noticed he was getting old. He came back to stay in Honolulu when he could no longer take care of himself in Samoa. He aged and died the way he had lived, quietly and with dignity. We will remember our father for his humility, his kindness, and his love. We know, Dad, that you are somewhere wonderful, and we hope it's as beautiful as this place we have gathered to say aloha. And it makes us smile to think that you and Buzzy may be together riding that perfect way.
Stayed with Karen. I used to love to go over and hear his stories. I lived for a long time in the Bay Area, and he told me about things that were going on that I would never have known existed there. I always remember his stories about during the war, how he did recreation here, how he enjoyed Japan, how he just enjoyed the whole world. He always seemed extremely friendly and loving, and I miss him for all those stories that he told me about times that I would never see. And I sort of remember one where he was telling me about the first time a jet came to Pango Pango. They were there on the runway and they were watching it, trying to figure out how this jet's going to get out here. And they were sitting on a fence behind where the jet blast would go. And as that plane took off, they took off in the other direction. And he said that taught him a lot about jet planes. So he was a wonderful man, and I'm going to miss him and his stories and everything else. So I wish him the best wherever he is. Thank you.
Praise you in awesome wonder, dear Lord our God, when we consider all the worlds thy hands have made. In this paradise of a place that we call home. A cascade of coral-colored bougainvillea, the majestic night blooming cereus in soft moonlight, trade winds gently pushing clouds across our blue skies, cool rain showers sweeping lush green valleys of the Ko'olau Range, sunsets blazing bright orange gold above the Pacific horizon, and a star-filled night fading into another dawn on our island world. Gather this community of family and friends together as a brilliant tapestry woven with jokes, stories, and memories, with honor and respect in each colorful strand, hemmed by a love that understands and forgives and is determined in its support of one another. No matter how much we talk about this time as a celebration of life, we ask you to help us deal with the sorrow that comes from the loss of this one who has meant so much to so many. We thank you for all the gifts and blessings Ben shared with others. We thank you for those special qualities of his honesty, his intelligence, his strength, his love of the water, his love of children. Encourage these qualities to live on in those who loved him and benefited from his kindness, his generosity, and friendship. Surround his family now with your deep, abiding love. Help us all, in the midst of things we cannot understand, to believe and trust in the resurrection to life everlasting. Grant us grace to entrust Benjamin Franklin Newell Jr. to your never-failing love. Receive him into your mercy, and grant us all the determination to remember and to honor Ben by living lives worthy of his praise. Amen. Only when you drink from the river of silence shall you indeed sing. And when you have reached the mountaintop, then shall you truly dance. Rest in God's peace, Ben Newell, in the love of God who created you. Friends and family, share your stories of life with Ben, remembering that a sorrow shared is half the sorrow, and a joy shared is twice the joy. Speak for Ben's silence, continue his legacy, bless the breath of life, sing of a deep and enduring love,
and travel with courage through the adventure of life and weave a lei of peace and aloha. Amen.
Amen.
Ke hapai nei ka leo I ku ohana Na ke aloha e kau ka leo I ku poli Na uku makana aloha e Ke ia aina e pula mamai I loko Na ke akua e malama E aku aloha ia o ko I lift my voice up to my family whose love I wear upon my chest. This is my gift of love for you from this land that has nurtured me, 'cause it remains here in my heart, cared forever by God. Na ke aku ai malamamau E aku aloha ia o kou Here is my love for all of you All of you Ke aku ai malamama